Let's talk about one of the biggest health challenges so many of us face, quitting sugar. We're going to take a deep dive into what really happens, step by step, during that first critical month. Ready? Let's get into it.
You know that feeling, right? That amazing, soaring high you get from a sweet treat. And then, boom, that awful crash that just wipes out your afternoon. It's this endless cycle that leaves you feeling drained and always looking for your next sugar fix. And hey, that feeling, it is not just in your head, it's real. Experts like Dr. Melissa Young from the Cleveland Clinic are very clear about it. Sugar is absolutely addicting. But why? What is actually going on in our brains that makes it so incredibly hard to say no? To really get why quitting is such a challenge, we first have to understand the science behind that high. It all comes down to a really powerful chemical reaction happening inside our own heads. Okay, so every single time you eat sugar, your brain gets this massive flood of dopamine. That's the feel-good chemical. It's the exact same reward system that gets triggered by other things we enjoy, and, this is key, it's the same mechanism you see in substance use disorders. It creates this powerful loop that just keeps you coming back for more and more. Now, this is where it gets really interesting. Look at this comparison. If regular sugar is like a firework going off in your brain, then artificial sweeteners, which can be, up to 700 times sweeter, are like the grand finale at Disney World. They just bombard your brain's reward system so intensely that they can actually reset your taste buds, making something naturally sweet like a strawberry seem kind of bland. All right, so you've made the call. You're quitting. Just know this first phase is usually the toughest. Let's break down exactly what you can expect during withdrawal, because honestly, knowing what's coming is half the battle. A lot of people go through something called the sugar flu. As your body starts to adjust, you might feel, a whole list of things. Physically, you could get headaches and feel super tired. Mentally, you might be irritable or have that classic brain fog. This is all totally normal. It's just your brain chemistry starting to rebalance itself. And this timeline just lays it all out perfectly. That first week, that's the storm. Your dopamine levels drop, which is why you feel anxious and moody. But look what happens next. As you get into weeks 2 and 3, your brain adapts, that fog starts to clear, and by week 4, things really start to stabilize. See? The hard part is temporary. Okay, once you power through that initial withdrawal, this is when the good stuff starts to happen, the real rewards. Your body doesn't just get used to less sugar, it actually begins to heal. Let's check out some of the incredible benefits that start to show up. Seriously, think of this as the payoff for all that tough work in the first couple of weeks. And the benefits are amazing, affecting everything from how much energy you have to how your skin actually looks. So, let's talk about your skin for a second. One of the biggest things that makes our skin age is a process called glycation. It sounds technical, but it's simple. It's when extra sugar molecules floating around in your blood latch onto the proteins that keep your skin looking firm and young, like collagen. So what happens then? Well, this process creates these nasty little molecules with a fitting name, AGEs. These AGEs make your skin support structure all stiff and brittle. They even break down your best, strongest collagen into a weaker version. And the result of that? Yep, fine lines, wrinkles, and saggy skin. By cutting sugar, you're directly hitting the brakes on that whole process. And the benefits go way deeper than just your skin. Eating too much sugar is a huge driver of this low-grade chronic inflammation all over your body. And that's linked to a ton of health problems. So cutting back on sugar is one of the most direct ways you can help calm all that inflammation down. Okay, so you've pushed through the withdrawal, you're starting to feel the benefits. So how do you make this change actually last? Well, it's all about building a new, much smarter relationship with sugar. And the stakes are high. They really are. Just let this number sink in for a second. A 44% higher risk of metabolic syndrome. That's a whole cluster of conditions that can lead to heart disease and diabetes for people who drink just one sugary soda a day. It's a pretty powerful reminder of why this all matters for your long-term health. One of the biggest hurdles is that sugar is a master of disguise. Just because a label doesn't shout the word sugar doesn't mean it's not hiding in there. In fact, it's got at least 56 different names. And here are just a few of its favorite costumes. You'll see things like high fructose corn syrup, dextrose, barley malt. It's all just added sugar. Learning to be a bit of a label detective is a game-changing skill here. And as we touched on earlier, just switching to artificial sweeteners isn't a simple fix. I mean, this table shows they're not exactly a free pass. You've got aspartame linked to mood disorders, sucralose impacting your gut health. These substitutes can bring their own problems to the table. The goal isn't to just trade one issue for another. The great news is you've got plenty of awesome, healthier ways to handle that sweet tooth. If you need a little sweetness, you can try things like stevia or maybe a tiny bit of raw honey. For amazing flavor, cinnamon and vanilla are your best friends. And to beat those cravings, try some sparkling water, or make sure your snacks have protein and fiber to keep your blood sugar from going on a roller coaster. So, we've walked through the whole journey. The science of the high, the tough part of withdrawal, the amazing benefits of quitting, and how to build a healthier path forward. You basically have the map for the first 30 days and beyond. The only real question left is, are you ready to change your relationship with sugar?